So, you want to start a podcast. You feel you have something to say that everyone needs to hear? Is that right? Well, I have a question for you. Have you heard of Anchor? Yeah, that's right, Anchor. Oh, what is it? It's just one of the easiest ways to create a podcast. Let me tell you just how easy it is. Number one, it's 100% free. That's right, zero cost. Number two, there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can even upload your videos and they will convert into audio. You see how easy that is? 1, 2, 3, and your podcast, it's on its way. So, try Anchor. I guarantee you won't be disappointed, and your listeners won't be either.
Welcome to another episode of J. Antoine Minor Speaks with your host, my dad, J. Antoine Minor Sr. Are you ready to be informed and enlightened? If so, you've come to the right place. From biblical revelation to political information, everyone listens when J. Antoine Minor speaks. Are you ready? Are you set? Good. Now let's go. Here's my dad, J. Antoine Minor Sr.
What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of J. Antoine Minor Speaks. We have not done this in a while, y'all. We have not done this in a while. But we need to do this more often. I've been getting phone calls and text messages and everything else saying, hey, when is J. Antoine Minor going to speak on this and on that? And so, hey, here we are. It's time. Let's get it. Let's get it. Listen, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We have some serious things going on in local news here in Fayetteville that we need to talk about tonight. We have to discuss it. All right. So y'all just bear with me. We gonna talk about it, y'all. We gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it, all right? Let's let's get ready to dig into this. And listen, what I'm talking about tonight, what we're discussing tonight, no laughing matter at all. When I tell you this is not a laughing matter, it is not political. It is not anything other than we need to know what's going on. And so I've been getting calls and researching and reaching out to sources and talking to people, and it just has to be discussed at this point. So do me a favor, tell everybody that you know that J. Antoine Minor is on the air and he's speaking, and they want to come here, because when J. Antoine Minor speaks, people listen, because people know when J. Antoine Minor speaks, I got something to say. All right, so here we go. I'm working the board and everything myself tonight. So y'all just bear with me. But we talking about is there corruption in the Fayetteville Police Department? Is there corruption in the Fayetteville Police Department? We're going to talk about that tonight. Some of you have sent in questions. I'm going to ask those questions. Hopefully somebody will answer those questions and stuff, but we got a lot of questions. We got some things that we need to see happen. But let's go ahead and let me clear this other screen, and we are going to go ahead and get ready to jump all in this so that we can get to the bottom of what it is that we came to talk about tonight. Hope answers, all right? Y'all, thank you for being with me. Thank you for sharing us out. Listen, you can, anywhere that you can find your, that you get your local podcast from, understand that J. Antoine Minor Speaks is there. Any place that you get your podcast from, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Anchor, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, and much more. Any place that you listen to your daily, weekly, or whatever podcast, you can listen to J. Antoine Minor Speaks on your local podcast broadcaster. All right. Be also make sure that you follow me on Twitter at J. Antoine Minor. And listen, make sure that you are following me on Patreon. You can go to www.patreon.com/JAntoineMinor. Become a patron. You get exclusive content when I put certain information out that I do not broadcast all over the internet. You'll be able to find it there on Patreon. Also, feel free to visit me on my website at IamJAntoineMinor.com. Again, IamJAntoineMinor.com. And those of you who are in the local Fayetteville area, be sure to vote for yours truly in the upcoming municipal elections here in Fayetteville. Yours truly running for mayor of Fayetteville. You can find out more information about the campaign at vote4minor, MINER.com. All right. So again, I want to welcome you to another episode of J. Antoine Minor Speaks. I am your host, J. Antoine Minor, and I am speaking tonight about some things that are going on in Fayetteville. So come on, y'all, let's jump into it. All right. So many of you have reached out to me over the last couple of weeks or so. The last week, really, reaching out to me about an incident that took place in Fayetteville. On October 17th, there was a deadly shooting. Seems like we have these homicides in Fayetteville more frequently than not nowadays. But on October 17th at the Island Flavor nightclub, there was a shooting. 2 individuals were shot. This was during the Fayetteville State University homecoming celebration that was taking place there. I'm not sure if this particular event was sponsored by FSU, but it is noted to have been a part of the FSU homecoming celebration. And so on October 17th, there were 2 individuals that were shot. One was deceased. That is horrible. But what has really gotten the circuits and things in Fayetteville and voices talking and mouths moving in Fayetteville are the allegations that our police chief, Gina Hawkins, was present at this nightclub where this homicide took place. And not only that, but it is alleged that our mayor, Mitch Colvin, was there accompanying the police chief during this event. And so information is coming from all over the place. It's still very fluid. I'm going to talk about some things tonight. I want you all to really understand that what I'm going to talk about tonight, these are allegations. This stuff has not been proven, but because it is out there, I wasn't going to say anything. I've been hearing about it since it took place, but I wasn't going to say anything. I wanted to make sure that this information, I didn't want to put information out prematurely. So because it is starting to really gain traction across the internet and across this city, many of the residents of Fayetteville want to know what really took place, what happened, what's going on. Is there a cover-up in Fayetteville? I don't know, but we're going to ask some questions tonight, and you guys do me a favor. Make sure that you put comments and things inside of the chat box. I'm going to do my best to look at your messages and try to respond to them. If you have questions, put those in there. We'll get those questions out, and hopefully we'll get someone from the city to maybe answer some questions. Let us know what's really going on. And so again, October 17th, 2 individuals shot. One was killed at the Island Flavor nightclub here in Fayetteville. I believe it's right off of Owen Drive. It was the FSU homecoming celebration that was taking place, and it is alleged that our police chief, Gina Hawkins, and Mayor Mitch Colvin were present at this establishment, at this nightclub, when this took place. So what we want to do is we just want to talk about this and kind of listen to you guys out there and see what what's going on. What is going on? All right. So I'm going to pull up your comments over here. I see you guys jumping in. All right. So let me pull up this other screen so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So someone sent me an article that has been published in the Plain Truth Network on their website. Now, the Plain Truth Network is a news blog here in Fayetteville, focuses on the Fayetteville area, and deals with, North Carolina in general. But on the Plain News Network's website, which is tpn.fayettevilleforum.net, if you want to go there, you can. On their website, they are discussing what took place during this event. So let's jump over there, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you guys can see exactly. I'm going to minimize myself so that you guys can see more clearly what it is that we're talking about here. All right. So here we go. All right. So here on this website, let me take my little thirds out so that you guys can see everything that I see, and so that there is nothing stopping you guys from seeing this. All right. So here on this website, TPN Action News, no PC 17, we're talking about signs of corruption in the Fayetteville Police Department. As I'm reading this, I've gotten I've made phone calls and talked to law enforcement officers, former and present, who are saying that what's being published here is, for the most part, true. That, there's still some stuff that needs to be verified, but there are even law enforcement, and we're not calling names. There are sources within the Fayetteville Police Department that are stating that stuff is true. And what we're hearing is true. And I know there are local news radio broadcasters that like to cover for things that are going on in the city, but I'm not one of them. Again, this isn't political. This isn't me trying to get brownie points to run for office. This is really me trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Pamela Woodell said, "Is this a reputable news site?" From what I've been told, yes. From what I've been told, the editor behind this news site just really likes to get the truth out there, and really doesn't care about the repercussions, but is pretty straightforward and just wants to get the information out there. So again, what I'm saying tonight is not necessarily coming from this site. This site is corroborating for me things that I have been hearing for the last week since this incident took place. I have gotten phone calls from police officers and law enforcement officers who say, listen, this actually happened. Fayetteville police officers are verifying that this happens. They don't want the information out there because of fear of, whistleblower stuff and reprisal and all the rest of that stuff. But there are officers who are saying, listen, what you're hearing is true. And so we want to get to the bottom of this. Again, I wasn't going to touch this until it really started growing some traction. I'm like, wait a minute, this is something that we need to talk about, because if this is happening in Fayetteville, the people have a right to know, and the people have a right to answers. Now, if this is found to be not true, then so be it. But the people still deserve answers either way. Either we need to know that it's true and we need to have proof that it's true, or we need to know that it's not true and we need to have proof that it is not true. Not just hearsay, not just the mayor said this or the chief said that, and then we just take their word for it like some people do. We're not going to do that. Okay? We want to know, we want proof that either this is true or it is not true. All right? So, here's where we are right here. Let me full screen this thing right here. All right. So, right here on the website, right here, we're not going to talk about is there corruption, but several allegations surfaced last week regarding Fayetteville's chief of police, Gina Hawkins. It is said that that during let's look at the allegations. All right. Let's not listen to me. Let's just look at the allegations. All right. Let's look at the allegations and see exactly what it is that's being said. All right. The allegations are this: It is alleged that in the early morning of Sunday, October 17th, 2021, Chief of Police Hawkins was at the Island Flavor Restaurant and Lounge. Now, law enforcement that I'm talking to is telling me this is not just a restaurant. They're putting it out there as if it's a restaurant and just a lounge. But law enforcement considers this place to be a nightclub frequented by drug dealers and drug users and things of that nature, marijuana use on the premises and things of that nature. I wasn't there, so I cannot attest to that. But what my law enforcement sources are telling me is that this is in fact the case at this particular establishment. Now, many people that I've spoken to, when I mentioned this establishment, they, not even being law enforcement, also tell me the same thing. This is not a restaurant. This is a nightclub that sells food, but its primary function is alcohol and party. And this is a club. Okay. Some people have even considered it a ratchet club. That's what I've heard from some people in the community. It is a ratchet club where people of certain stature and position really shouldn't frequent or should not be on the premises, so to speak. All right, so it is also alleged that Hawkins was in the company of Mayor Mitch Colvin. Now, listen, and I'm just going based on, I've been hearing this for several months now, that there's something going on with the two of them. Can I tell y'all something real quick? Who cares? This is just me personally. Unless it violates some ethical law, or there's some type of statute that forbids a relationship, I could really care less. That's personal. I don't care. It's in the article. That's the only reason I mentioned it. And I've heard it several times. But for me, what you do in your personal life is personal, as long as it does not violate, as long as it is not an ethical violation and it is not a violation of the law of some sort, whether it be a city ordinance or a county ordinance or a state law or federal law. As long as you have not broken the law, listen, I don't care about all the rest of that stuff. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I focus on policy and people. I don't care about your private life. All right, so now Fayetteville State was hosting their homecoming event here at this nightclub. At about 3 a.m, shots rung out and 2 individuals were shot. 2 individuals were shot. 1 person was killed. The allegations are that the police chief was on site when this took place. This is not something that I'm saying. My sources are saying, listen, she was on site. She was last seen on site less than 30 minutes before the shooting took place. So she was on site. The allegations further, let me take a sip of this. The allegations further allege that not only was she on site, but she was heavily intoxicated to the point that she was unable to drive herself home. Now, here's something that I don't want to skip over. The allegations are that she was on site and that she drove herself to this event in her city vehicle. She used a city vehicle to bring herself to this event. Okay? And she gets to the event. She parks her city vehicle. She goes inside. Her and the mayor are in there. This is what is alleged. And they're having a good time. There's drinking. Some officers even describe the atmosphere as reeking of marijuana. That's a concern. Here's why that's a concern. If our chief of police is in an establishment where drugs of any sort are being utilized and she does not intervene, she becomes complicit in what is going on, and therefore she violates her oath and she has committed a crime. So what I want to know is what actually took place. Was she in this establishment when this shooting took place, and was she in an establishment where there were drugs and other activities going on while she is present that were illegal? Okay? We want to know this stuff. All right? And so So it is alleged that she shows up in her police vehicle, but when she gets ready to leave, she calls dispatch and has dispatch send a vehicle to pick her up and take her home. Because she has determined that she is too inebriated to drive. So she calls for dispatch to take her home. After that, the incident takes place, the shooting takes place, one individual is killed. The chief returns. She returns in her personal vehicle, or she is brought back to the scene of the homicide and attempts to get through. Let's scroll down and let's look right about here, y'all. Let's look right about here. Fayetteville Police Department law enforcement officers allege that when Hawkins tried to enter the crime scene to retrieve her assigned city police vehicle, the officers in charge of crime scene security appropriately refused her entrance. This is because it is taught that a crime scene and all of its contents are not to be disturbed until everything is photographed, logged, and thoroughly investigated as to its involvement in the crime under investigation. And tampering with a crime scene is a crime in itself, no matter what the underlying reason. It was further alleged that that Hawkins, when denied entry, then pulled down her mask and demanded of the officers, if they knew who she was, asserting her authority as chief of police as a justified reason to enter the crime scene. And this took place approximately 30 minutes after she was driven home because she was self-admitted to be too drunk to drive. Okay? So the allegations are that the police chief came back to the crime scene and then tried to access her city vehicle that was now a part of the crime scene. And when she was denied entry, asserted her authority over the officers providing crime scene security and demanded that they allow her into the crime scene to get her city vehicle. Now, here's something that I didn't realize when I was reading this, and I don't know who is in charge of this. Well, I recently found out who is in charge of this blog. I don't know the individual, never met the individual. I'm not going to name the individual. I was a little shocked, and you guys will see in a second why I was a little shocked. I was a little shocked when I was reading through this, and I scrolled down because several people sent me this article, and I'm reading it and going through it to look at what all is being said and what is being alleged. And I scroll down and I see this. And I can promise y'all, I did not know this was in there. I don't know who wrote this article. I don't know the individual personally. I just don't. And so I did not know that there was anything in here mentioning me. But it's pretty much quoting what I said a couple of weeks ago in Lincolnton, North Carolina, during a freedom rally there in Lincolnton. And what I said was, and you see it here, it says mayoral candidate J. Antoine Minor seems to believe that Hawkins's toxic leadership is destroying the Fayetteville Police Department. These alleged actions certainly do nothing to dispute Minor's assertions. And then it kind of goes down, and if you read this, I will tell you, full disclosure, these are my words. This is what is in this video. If I play this video, you would hear what it is that I am saying. And he didn't take me out of context. He pretty much wrote or transcribed what I said. Okay? So we got some questions that need to be answered. And we want to know what is going on, because here's the thing. Fayetteville Police Department is down over 120 officers. More than that. More than 120 officers down. Our police department has lost confidence in the police chief. I want to know, and the people of Fayetteville deserve and demand to know, if these allegations are true, and if they are true, she needs to be held accountable. And if the mayor was there, he needs to be held accountable. Whatever that accountability looks like, if it means resign, and if she broke the law, she should be held to the full extent of the law. There is no reason. Why would you drive your city vehicle? And I'm just now in this article, it does say, well, not in this article, but as I was reading something that someone sent me, the chief admitted that there were some Fayetteville officers that were working this event that night. My question to the chief is, first of all, I didn't know that you can use your city vehicle on personal time. Unless she was there in an official capacity doing police work. Now she may say, well, there were officers there, so I was there in the capacity of the chief. Okay, you might get away with that. But if not, if there was no official capacity, why are you driving a city vehicle? That is not your personal vehicle. That vehicle belongs to the taxpayers of Fayetteville. That vehicle belongs to the people of Fayetteville and should only be driven when you are on official Fayetteville Police Department business, when you are on the clock, when we are paying you. Now, I understand your salary, but when you are on official business, that is the only time that vehicle should be used. When you are on personal time, you should be utilizing your personal vehicle. So we have questions that need to be answered by the police chief and her immediate supervisor, the city manager, Doug Hewitt. We have questions that need to be answered by the mayor. And we got questions even for the city attorney, because this potentially is a legal matter. Now, again, these allegations are just that. They are allegations. Now, Pamela said, where are these? Where's the news coverage of this on our local news? Well, Pamela, unfortunately, and I can say this, unfortunately, many of us know that local news in this city panders to the mayor, the police chief, and in that circle. All right. So will the local news cover something like this? No. I strongly doubt it, unless they are really pressured to do so. Especially if it implicates the mayor, because that's their choir boy. And, we're in an election year, so they're not going to do anything to jeopardize his run for whatever, whether it's mayor or something else. But listen, the reason we are talking about it tonight is because the allegations are out there, and not just out there. Let's see. They are out there, and the public is aware of these allegations, and people are talking, and people have questions, and people want to know what's going on. And because people want to know what's going on, we have to give them answers. Okay, we have to give them answers. Let me close out of some stuff, because I think it's messing up my stream. So let me just close out of a few things so that my stream does not weaken anymore. It looks like we're buffering a little bit. We'll give it a little time to come back. And then we'll jump back into this. All right. Let's just look and see if we are let's look and see if we are buffering still. All right. Hey guys, let me know if there's anything happening to the stream. If the stream is not coming in clearly, let me know. That way I can try to make some adjustments. Again, I'm working the board and everything tonight, so just let me know. There's no one else working the board, so I'm multitasking. All right. So here's what we want to know. We want to know we have certain questions that we want answered, and I got some questions that came in earlier today that were inboxed, and people want to know. So some basic but serious questions is this. Number one, did she drive the city vehicle to the bar or the club to knowingly consume alcohol? Okay. Did she intentionally drive to the club knowing that she would consume alcohol? If in fact she did consume alcohol. Our sources are telling us she did consume alcohol. She was inebriated and incapable of driving herself home. So she called for a vehicle to pick her up and take her home. All right. And that's the responsible thing to do. If you know you can't drive because you've been drinking, call a friend, call a neighbor, call an Uber, call a cop, and ask them to take you home because you don't want to drive. Very responsible, Chief. If that's what happened, very responsible. I applaud you for that. Next question. Once she decided that she was too intoxicated to drive, and any amount of intoxication is too much in a city vehicle. But once she realized that she was too intoxicated to drive, was she going to leave the city vehicle there overnight? I'm just asking questions that are being asked. People are asking the questions. I'm going to ask them, and hopefully we'll get some answers. Third question, did she remove it from inside the crime scene prematurely? Did she remove that there? Did she remove that vehicle from inside the crime scene before the scene could be completely, before everything could be completely handled within the crime scene? Okay? All right, that's what we want to know. Did she prematurely remove that vehicle from the crime scene? All right. Some other questions that we have. Let's look at some of this other stuff. Okay, so listen. All right, I think those were the main questions that we got. Was the mayor there? Because some are reporting in the media, friends of the mayor are reporting that the mayor was there the day before, and there's like conflicting reports that the mayor was there the day before, but then there's reports that the mayor was there the day of, and then there are reports that he was there but left at about 12:45 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. Him and the chief left. So we need to know, was he there? Was the mayor on site? Were there drugs being utilized in this establishment while they were there? These are questions that need to be answered. And I don't believe that we're going to get a straight answer from the city of Fayetteville. I just don't believe we're going to get a straight answer. So here's what I'm calling for. And hopefully those out there, those of you that are watching will call for the same thing. I am calling for an FBI investigation into these allegations. We don't want the city to investigate this. The city will not. I don't trust the city, the current city leadership to be able to investigate itself. I just don't trust it. I don't trust we'll get a straight answer. I don't trust that they'll be honest. And I believe that the media will cover them like they covered last year in the news and things that took place around the country. I don't believe the media is honest enough to cover this with what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know the word I'm looking for right now. Y'all help me. I don't know if the media is unbiased enough to cover this, because they have shown themselves to be very, very biased. I have experienced it personally. I know how local media is in this city, and I know the narrative that they tried to push. So I don't trust And you shouldn't trust that the local media is going to be honest in its reporting of this matter. Again, these are allegations. This stuff has not been criminally proven or any otherwise proven. These are allegations that need to be investigated. They need to be investigated because once stuff like this gets out into the public square, the people have a right to know. Leadership has a requirement to answer. Again, I don't care about personal relationships. That's not my business. I could care less who you go home with at the end of the day. That's your personal business. That's your personal life. It is nobody else's business. The only thing that I am concerned about, and the only thing that any of the people of this city should be concerned about, is were there any laws broken? Were there any ethical laws or criminal laws broken by these two individuals during the course of this event and these events? That's what we need to be investigating. And I don't think the city has the capability or the integrity to investigate itself. So I'm calling for a full FBI investigation of the city of Fayetteville, the police chief, and the mayor to see if any laws were broken. How do we do this? I'm calling for 100% transparency. 100% transparency. What does that mean? All video footage from that night that is connected to the incident and that nightclub. Their video footage, the vehicle's video footage, the vehicle that picked her up and took her home, how she got back to the crime scene, footage from her city vehicle. We need all of that to be subpoenaed. We need all of that to be seized and reviewed by outside investigators. Hopefully the FBI. Okay? We also need the GPS information because all city vehicles have GPS. And you know exactly where those vehicles are at any given time. I want to know, was that GPS ever turned off? If it is possible for it to be turned off. And we want to know, where was her vehicle at during the time in question? Was her vehicle parked in the vicinity or on the property, the premises of Island Flavor Nightclub, Bar and Lounge, whatever you want to call it? Was her vehicle there? Where is the GPS data that shows us where her vehicle was at? That's what we want to know. We want to know, where was her vehicle at during the incident? We want all the footage, any body cam footage. We want all of it. And we want officers protected under whistleblower protection who come forth and speak out against the police chief if there are officers that are willing to come forth. They need to be protected because clearly we know that this police chief does not protect officers. We have an officer now who deceased and is being denied benefits, but that's another story. This police chief does not protect her officers. So we need to know what is going on. Did this incident really occur? Was she present? Was the mayor present? I don't care about the personal relationship stuff. If y'all want to talk about that, that's on y'all. That don't have nothing to do with city policy unless it violates a city policy. Now, if there's a city policy that says that the mayor and whoever can't date, then okay, let's talk about it. But if that's not a city policy, that's their personal life and I could care less. I am only concerned about potential laws being broken and to make sure that our police chief does not feel that she is the law above the law. She is held to the same standards as every other officer of the law in Fayetteville, Cumberland County, the state of North Carolina, and the United States. She is not an island all to herself, and she should be held accountable if accountability is required. That's what I'm calling for. An FBI investigation into these allegations. A full and transparent investigation. We don't want edited videos. We don't want to hear, oh, the video got wiped clean. We don't want to hear any of that. We demand the video. We demand all footage, video, audio, all footage, body cam, vehicle cam, all footage of that incident that night. Who was the officer? Who is the dispatcher that dispatched an officer to pick her up from the club? What time did that happen? What time did she come back? Was she present? Was her vehicle there? Did she drive her vehicle there, which is a violation? She should not have been driving a city vehicle on her personal time. Now, there's ways that she can loophole through that, so, that's whatever. But we want to know what in the world is going on in Fayetteville. Why have police officers lost so much confidence in their leadership? We need to know. We demand to know. We want a full, let me say it again. We are calling for a full, transparent, unhindered investigation into the incidents occurring on the night of October the 17th, 2021. We want to know, was our police chief, was our mayor present in an establishment known for drug activity where there was alleged to be a high smell of marijuana, and I've even gotten some allegations that there was cocaine residue in the facility. Listen, we just need to know, is any of it true? But we don't trust the city to tell us. We need an outside investigator. We need someone that is not in the city's pocket to investigate. We don't trust local media to do it. They cannot be trusted when it comes to covering this city, because they cover for this mayor and this police department continuously. So we are calling for a full, transparent, and unhindered FBI investigation. I don't even trust the state doing this. I don't trust the state doing this. You got Cooper coming down to fundraisers with the mayor. I don't trust the state. They're too chummy for me. It looks like everybody's in bed together. I don't trust the county. I don't have no issues with Sheriff Wright, but I don't even trust the county. Too much stuff going on. Too many people in bed with each other, figuratively and literally. It's just too much going on. We need to know what took place on the night of October 17th. What took place? Someone is dead. And there are allegations floating around that our police chief was present at that establishment at the night of this incident, and there are allegations that she has broken some rules and regulations. And let me just bring this back on screen real quick. Look at this. All right, look at this. Right here, it talks about did Hawkins violate the law in several Fayetteville Police Department policies that she signed? Fayetteville Police Rules and Regulations 6.1.4. Employees shall not interfere with or take action in cases being handled by other officers of the department or by another governmental agency unless ordered to intervene by a superior officer, or the interviewing officer believes that a manifest injustice would result from failure to take immediate action. All right, let's look at this. Officers shall not undertake any investigation or other official action that is not part of their regular duties without obtaining permission from their supervisor, unless the exigencies, the exigencies, whatever, of the situation require immediate police action. Any officer taking such action must notify his immediate supervisor. In the case of Chief Hawkins, her immediate supervisor is the city manager, Doug Hewitt. Many of you may not know, the police chief does not answer to the mayor. She answers to the city manager. That is her immediate supervisor. The city manager answers to the mayor and the city council. Okay? So, and these are rules and regulations that govern officers of the Fayetteville Police Department. And the question is Chief Hawkins a Fayetteville Police Department employee? She certainly is. Of course she is. So did she violate these rules? If the allegations are true, absolutely. and she should be held accountable. And whatever that accountability entails, she should be held to it. And if the mayor has done something that is untoward, and if he violated something, or he was there, and if the allegations concerning him are true, then hey, he need to answer for that too. But we need transparency. I don't trust these jokers. Ain't even have nothing to do with the fact that I'm running for office. I didn't trust them before that. That's why I decided to run for office, because I don't trust them. They lied too much. They lied to us last year. City council officials, city council members lied to my face last year about the incident that took place downtown. They lied to my face. When I say lied to my face, I mean blatantly lied to my face with a straight face. I don't trust them. I don't trust them to police themselves and to tell what happened. But we want to know what happened. We want these questions answered. They need to be answered immediately. There needs to be an immediate push for an investigation of an outside agency, preferably the FBI. Hopefully they can still be trusted. But these allegations need to be investigated. And we want 100% transparency. We want an unencumbered investigation. We want to see all the footage. Y'all want to bring body cam footage out for everything else? We want to see all the footage. We want all the footage from the vehicle. We want the GPS data. We want all of that information. Don't tell me you don't have it. Y'all track every vehicle in this city. You know exactly where each one of those patrol vehicles is at any given time. We want the data. We want the information. We want the information. And again, this is not political. This is, I am literally responding right now as a concerned citizen of this city. I don't know if what is being said, I wasn't there, but there's too many people coming out saying the exact same thing from different spectrums or from, that kind of don't hang in the same circles, but they all seem to be saying this information. And when you have law enforcement officers telling you that what you are reading and what you are hearing, you pretty much can believe it. There's still a few things that are being investigated, but we got people who are literally saying the fact that she contaminated that crime scene to get her vehicle, several saying that is 100% true. Now, I wasn't there. I wasn't in the vehicle. But I got a whole lot of people who are saying that happened. There are even people who are saying that they were there at the club and witnessed her there and the mayor there the night of the incident together. And her vehicle was there. So, and then there's this thing where they're saying that the incident didn't take place at the establishment. It took place outside in front of it. But from what I'm being told by law enforcement, it wasn't out in the street where this took place. This was on their property. They had the parking lot taped off. This is what I'm hearing from law enforcement. So if it did not take place on the premises, whether inside or outside, why was the parking lot taped off? Where's the video? We want the video. Show us the proof of what you are saying. If what is being said, Chief Hawkins and Mayor Colvin, if these allegations are not true, the city of Fayetteville needs to know. And we need you to step up and be the leaders that you currently are and address these. Not sitting down with friendly faces on friendly news channels and morning shows. No. You need to go, and take some tough questions to what took place and answer these questions for the people. Chief Hawkins, you're not an elected official, but you were paid by the people of this city. Mayor Colvin, you are elected by the people of this city. Not a lot of them, but a good amount. voted for you. So, y'all gonna answer or what? We need to know. We demand answers. We demand answers. We should not. This is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous. We demand answers, and we should get those answers that we demand. We really should. And so, listen, again, I'm not here to put a hit job on anyone. I'm not here to accuse anyone of anything. I'm just saying, listen, these allegations are out there, and somebody got to answer for them. The people have questions. The people want answers. And you guys have an obligation to give us the answers that we are seeking. All right? So, that was a lot. That was definitely a lot. All right. So we get ready to get up out of here, y'all. I thank y'all for your time. Listen, do me a solid favor. Again, check out the J. Antoine Minor Speaks podcast, any place where you get your podcast. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Anchor, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, and many more. Also, be sure to become a patron and follow me on Patreon. Visit www.patreon.com/J. Antoine Minor. Follow me on Twitter at J. Antoine Minor. And you can also follow me on Facebook right here at J. Antoine Minor. Listen, do me a favor. Also visit me online. Visit my website. I am jantoineminor.com. And if you are in the Fayetteville area, make sure that you support me in this mayoral run. Our elections are next year. Check me out. Vote 4minor.com. Donate, volunteer, sign up, whatever. But yeah, we need some answers, and we intend to get some answers. So listen, y'all be blessed. Y'all have an amazing evening. And until next time, shalom.
Thank you for listening to J. Antoine Minor Speaks. Until next time, stay woke.